I do not have compassion for a bestial predator whose very existence is an existential threat to people and animals that actually have a place in nature, a role in an ecosystem, and so on. This is where we are coming from. We do not condone random violence against dogs, but their abuse is frankly not our concern, because their effect on humanity and the natural world is what we would like to address.
If you're sick of dog culture, then you've come to the right place. Without further ado, I welcome you to this fight for change.
This old-time radio program was originally aired live, long before the advent of high fidelity.
Over a year ago, I made a video titled, "Dog Lovers Are Not Animal Lovers," or something like that. I honestly don't remember because I took that video down and I don't have the original file saved. But the point is this: unless there is a specific focus on actual animals, and I will show what I mean when I imply that dogs aren't actually animals other than in a strict technical sense, so-called animal advocates today should really call themselves dog shills. After all, that is exactly what they are, in all actuality. They don't care about animals in general, only specific pets. It's a weird thing to focus on, especially considering the negative environmental toll these artificial predators have on wildlife animals and the natural world in general. Dogs in particular are obviously also dangerous to humans and to livestock and other pets. It's especially crazy when I see that these so-called animal advocates support pit bulls of all breeds. Do these illiterate pro-pit idiot simpletons have any idea how many cats dogs kill? Have they not seen the multiple instances where these unnatural beasts are recorded going after horses for absolutely no reason? As long as these dogs exist, and really all dogs, not only will people be inconvenienced, they will be terrorized and occasionally maimed or killed. The same goes for animals. The very existence of this artificial man-made aberration is an ongoing threat to animal welfare as a whole. So people's defense of them, especially in the name of animal liberation or whatever, has never made sense to me. Do these ideologues have any idea how many wildlife animals various dog breeds harass and torment? Many dog lovers get a sadistic pleasure out of documenting this themselves. At an absolute minimum, any person with a pulse should recognize that all large, heavily muscled dogs, and all dogs big or powerful enough to tear a grown adult apart, have no place in human society. I do not have compassion for a bestial predator whose very existence is an existential threat to people and animals that actually have a place in nature, a role in an ecosystem, and so on. This is where we are coming from. We do not condone random violence against dogs, but their abuse is frankly not our concern, because their effect on humanity and the natural world is what we would like to address. As long as dogs exist, they will continue to assault us, wreck our peaceful existence, engage in public fouling and open defecation, and they will continue to be a problem for pet owners, ranchers, farmers, and conservationists. They will continue to pose significant environmental problems as a whole. And dogs are massive eco-destroyers. We do, however, support violence in self-defense against these foul beasts. The sheer amount of videos and articles dealing with the topic of how to react to an attacking or charging dog shows just what a negative impact dogs have on society. Again, this is where we are coming from. So if you want to do a silly and shitty little video about our movement, at least acknowledge our actual position.
All dogs suck, I've had enough of the barking and biting. Yes, I'm mad at mutts. It's got a rude attitude and toxic breath. Food begging agents of chaos and death. Yeah, all dogs suck.
Dogs have no understanding of justice, and a dead dog cannot be brought back through modern witch hunts. Justice is a human construct, created and defined by human societies. Although I personally believe we can arrive at something close to an objective morality, it should also be noted that ideas of justice can vary considerably from culture to culture. It is important to understand that non-human animals do not have social and political institutions like we do. Their upbringing is not the product of complex institutional forces, as it is with us. There is no such thing as justice in the animal kingdom. Dogs are, of course, an artificial and dependent animal aberration created by humans, and they are utterly reliant on us and our technology, unlike the vast majority of animals in existence. To think of them as somehow connected to the animal kingdom is indeed bizarre. By virtue of the definition of natural being not made or caused by humankind, dogs are categorically unnatural. Putting aside the fact that dogs really are, in a bizarre sense, more so an extension of humanity than a product of the natural world, dogs likewise have no use for justice. Again, they have no understanding of it. Since it is an entirely human idea, dogs in fact run on what we would call injustice. In the dog world, might makes right. There are no rules, laws, or social norms. It has nothing to do with morality.
As a brief aside, pause to reflect on the fact that this sign says, "Stop shooting pets." But when has a police officer ever had to shoot somebody's cat or hamster because it charged at them? Let's keep it real. Only dogs are getting shot by police, and it is happening for a reason.
Now here is something that was posted by a commenter on my other channel a long time ago.
Abused dogs aren't our problem or concern. They're 100% the problem of so-called dog lovers. Why exactly are these dogs being abused? I'll take a guess. It's because they are behaving like dogs. Their default behavior is unpleasant, destructive, and potentially dangerous to their owners. So people buy into the whole dog culture marketing hype about dogs being loyal and loving unconditionally, and how you really can't live a completely fulfilling life without owning a dog. Then, the dog pees and craps in the house because it cannot be or never was properly house-trained. Or it destroys furniture, barks or whines nonstop because it is neurotic from lack of exercise and stimulation, and sheds and stinks up the house. It acts aggressively towards them, or their children, maybe other existing pets. Again, these are all things that dogs do unless extensively trained to not do them. Most dog owners are too lazy to train their dog. The dog ends up increasing their anxiety and unhappiness, the opposite of what the dog culture industrial complex and social media say, and tells the owner that the problems are because of them, not the dog, and that they need to spend more time and more money on the dog, and if they don't, they've failed it. People are shamed and told they should kill themselves when they realize that they don't want to own a dog or can't afford one, because they are told a dog is for life. The rescue pit bull that the family adopted from the shelter that covered up its dangerous history bites them, kills their other dog or cat, and they realize they cannot stand it in their house. They can't take it to the shelter because it's overflowing with tons of other used, defective pit trash, which no one else wants, so the owner is forced to keep it. They take their anger out on it by burning, beating, or knifing it and dumping it somewhere, instead of either having it euthanized or humanely shooting it themselves. Then you find it, feel sorry for it, and attempt to rehabilitate it. So the cycle can be repeated again. Do you ever ask yourself why someone would light a dog on fire? It's a sick thing to do, but if a dog disfigured my child or killed and ate my cat, I'd kill it without a second thought. Dogs have brains the size of a lemon with a frontal cortex that is just 10% of that. Surely you know this basic anatomical fact about them? They are nothing like very small children. That is a nonsensical, unscientific claim that you dog people need to stop repeating. Another thing that's interesting and ironic is that dog nutters say dogs are like toddlers, but these same people often are open about how much they absolutely despise toddlers and children, and how they're parasite-ridden, filthy dog that licks its own anus and genitals. This is something I've never seen a toddler do, by the way, has more right to be in human-occupied public spaces than members of their own species. These people are miserable, untrustworthy misanthropes. Dogs can certainly show affection towards whomever is feeding them, and many can be trained to do tasks specific to their breed. But they are never going to put the needs of a person, even their owner, above theirs. This is something humans do with other humans all the time. Their favorable behavior is generally governed around obtaining some type of reward or avoiding punishment, rather than some deeper understanding of right versus wrong. Dogs are the most overhyped and overrated animal on the planet. They are the third leading cause of animal-based deaths of humans around the world behind mosquitoes and venomous snakes. And even when they're not biting 5 million people a year in the US, they're irritating AF. I'm listening to some idiot mutt a few houses down bark its fool head off because its owner let it outside. Thankfully, this isn't a regular occurrence, but it pisses me the hell off. Dog barking is noise pollution, full stop. People hate it.